museum. Hello guys, Umar here, back for another vlogging at home video, and today I'm actually gonna do something with this box here. We're actually gonna build something for another anime series, so hope you may enjoy. Now, if we're going to build something for the anime, we're going to be taking apart this box first. Then once I do that, I'll give you the doing of what I'm going to do with this box. So, the only way to cut up this box, you're going to need a knife or a scissor. Now, since I don't have access to some knives, I decided to use my own modeling knife here to take apart this box. But I can also use some scissors, which we're going to do in a time lapse. Now with the cardboard being cut into these sides, now time to review what I'm going to build. You may already seen my video of me building the Space Battleship Yamato video, which is this model here. But there's another anime series I recently watched called Arpeggio Blue Steel. This anime series actually talks about mental model girls controlling World War II ships. In which that while I was watching the scene, I just have an idea of creating one ship. However, there are some models, but they're mostly pretty expensive. So I decided to make my own out of cardboard. Actually built this cardboard ships for quite a long time. My first ones are actually the RMS Titanic, and later it was the USS Missouri, and later the more ideal ideas. But later I actually stopped and moved on to models like the Space Battleship Yamato. But now with me not going anywhere, so I decided to make this crafting video. So for this video, I'm going to be building the Arpeggio Blue Steel I-401 submarine. We got one piece of cardboard here, which will be the basis of our submarine. Now, you could try to make it your own, but for me, I like to use a pencil here to trace the linings so that we can have a good side. Because what I'm trying to make here is this flat side here will be a core of our submarine, likely the main design of the hull, before we actually put in the corners to make sure we have it molded up like a submarine. So that once we peel out the cardboard paper, we should actually just cover the entire insides of the submarine. You would have to use 2 pieces of cardboard just in case if you're made a mistake and you don't have an eraser. But since I do have some erasers, we just only need one at least. You may need this one for the core pieces. Like once you're done like making circles, you have to cut them in half to make sure they fit the sides and they help support the paper while folding it around the core of the submarine. This will quite take a long time, so let's fast forward when we're done. It might take me a long time, but you can't see from here. This is what we have right here. There's a whole trace line of our core of the middle. Now we have time to cut it, and now we're going to draw the supports to help support the paper. Just one whole core piece of our submarine, so that way once we add the structure to help hold it fold, then it'll have to remain there like it's hold still. Now we got the entire cross section for the structure to hold the paper. Now we're about to head over to my room to heat up the glue gun. I got these pieces here, and right now my hot glue gun will be heating up right now ready to these sticks here, even though there's already one left. Well, currently the glue gun is starting to heat up, and it's almost done heating, along with the cardboard stuff, which is going to rest, and the core structure to hold the ship. Now, currently the glue gun is starting to heat up, and it could be sticking on the floor a lot. So to make sure it is, actually have some water underneath the tip to make sure it holds stable. The pieces have now been cored. However, it's almost getting late right now, so we may have to do it all the way to the next day for our build. Now, with the cross section of the submarine now complete, now we're going to use some pieces of cardboard to build the structural system so that it can hold the paper together. Like, here's an example. This is an example from my original battleship. This is actually the space battleship Yamato that I originally built. But this is what I'm supposed to do. Like pretend here this is a cardboard paper. This here is actually like a mold structure that holds together the entire vessel. And this piece here is likely the middle section core piece that can hold the ship in place. The top deck here will be for structure, but this is what I'm going to do. Just build some of the mold pieces that could fold around the ship, so that once it's actually in place, the paper will go around the ship like we're making a model together. Now, you could use any cardboard pieces. I decided to use leftover cardboard from the tracing we did earlier with our submarine mold. Cross section would look like with these here like bulkheads. They actually help support the ship and the paper there. Now we gotta finish the bottom here, and we better work on the back and the other side. If we actually did a little trimming here, we can actually see what would the submarine will be now look like once we mold it up. See these circular parts? That's when the paper will be folded around the ship. However, for this piece here, this is actually a catapult system for the submarine when they actually launched planes during World War II. But we're going to now move on to the mid and the aft and the stern. Later, I got tennis for 1.5 hours, so I paused the work until I'm done by 6 o'clock. Okay, now I'm back. Let's continue on building our submarine. Since now we got the first front part done, now I gotta finish building the 4 parts. Alright, now with the entire core of the submarine now done, now it's time we can peel off the cardboard from here. Now, using a cardboard to peel was going to be pretty tricky and also kind of hard, because some of the cardboard could actually be a bit sometimes sharp. Actually, you may have to cause some sharpie nails, but you also have to be careful of when you're trying to peel, because peeling pieces of cardboard is actually pretty difficult to do. Like, you want to have the entire piece here. Like, here's an example. You need to do it very slowly when peeling this piece, and to make sure that the thinner pieces don't actually get separated from it. Like that. Now it's like that. Now it looks a bit like a flat piece. Now you have to use the edge of the table to make it flat. Now you got a thin piece of cardboard here, and now you have to trim it to several pieces so that way it can try to fit into our submarine. Before you actually start gluing, it's good to make sure you check the height on the blueprint to match the size of the submarine. Now, when you're actually going to have to create molds, the cardboard paper around the submarine, you got to be careful about the edges, however. And you also need to double check to make sure you have the right size and the width of the submarine. Now, once you need to double check to make sure it fits rightly, and once it reaches to the point that's good, now you have to try to trim the pieces off, but you don't want to trim the pieces off, you have to glue it on first. Once that, you have to use to trim the piece off. Now the submarine now has a clear shape of what it looks like. Now we're going to move on to both the bow and the stern of the submarine before we move on to the bigger structure and the bigger decks, which I don't know if I have time, but maybe. Building the bow is extremely hard, so you had to cut some trims of pieces to match the size of the bow. After that, you had to add glue together, and you had to take apart and put back again to make sure you double check the size and shape. It's the end of part 1 of building the I-401 submarine. Part 2, or next weekend, is after that. The hull will be finished up the deck and the conning tower. So if you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to stay tuned for more videos. And I'll see you in the future. Bye.